Welcome to DIYEasyCrafts.com. Today we're going to take a look at doing a knife handle camo wrap. So this is the finished product. It's a Kershaw pocket knife. It had stainless steel scales or handles, and I just wrapped that with a camo material, which I got from MossyOak.com. I found it online. It's actually some scrap material I had left over from doing a camo wrap on my shotgun. So this is the knife. I've had it for several years. It's used and abused. I cut open a lot of cardboard boxes with it. Used it on the boat quite a bit. Um, I love the knife itself. This is a beautiful Kershaw. The size, it's nice and slim. But I was never really fond of how slippery the stainless steel handles are. So I had some leftover camo material. I figured I'd give it a shot. The first step was just to degrease and clean up the blade and the handles. I did that with rubbing alcohol. And then I just peeled the backing from the camo wrap and applied it right to the handle. Then you use a little bit of heat. You can either use a heat gun or a hair dryer. The heat makes that material more flexible and it almost makes it more elastic so that you can then, with your finger, start to form it around all of the edges and around all of the curves. With the object here being to get it to cover all of the desired top and sides of the blade without having any creases or wrinkles. The next step is just going to be to trim off the excess material. I used an X-Acto knife for this. This material is pretty tough. And it dulls the X-Acto blade pretty quickly. So on a small project like this, like a knife, I actually ended up using two new X-Acto knife blades in order to do the project. Once the blade gets dull, instead of slicing through, you end up pulling the material, and it just creates, little imperfections and little wrinkles. So again, just a few steps. You want to clean the blade completely, especially of grease. Rubbing alcohol works well for that. You want to apply it, and with your fingers, you want to then smooth out the wrap, getting rid of any little air bubbles or creases. You can use a heat gun or a hair dryer in order to make that material a little bit more flexible so that it makes all of those turns without creating creases. And then when you're all done, you want to heat it all up again with the heat gun and then just run over every single inch of the project with your fingers, just making sure that it's all secured. And then what's really nice about this material is if after a couple of seasons you don't like it anymore, if you want to change the design, you can just peel it right off. It won't even leave any residue on your knife handle. The other side is just a duplication of exactly what we did on the first side. The other side has the pocket clip, so I ended up using two small pieces alongside that pocket clip, and then I slid the larger piece right underneath, which is neat because you can overlap this material. It's thin enough that it doesn't even stand out. Visually, you wouldn't even know that it was done in three pieces on this side. In the same steps, I'm just going to take my time, work that material with my fingers, making sure that there's no little imperfections. I'm going to use the heat gun again. Make it nice and flexible, start to form it around the corners and around that curve. And then I'm just going to use an X-Acto knife to trim off any excess material. Now I had this scrap material around. This was left over from doing a shotgun. But you can also buy very small pieces of this. They make a kit for a gun scope, for example, that sells for about $7. And you have enough in that kit to do quite a few small knives like this. It also comes, you can check them out on the web, but they have a whole bunch of different camo designs. This is their marsh grass design. And that's basically it. A very simple do-it-yourself project. Camo wrap for, almost any pocket knife handle. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, I ask that you please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to this YouTube channel. By all means, check us out on the web at DIYEasyCrafts.com. I've got a whole bunch of hunting and knife making related videos on there. Thank you very much for watching.